frustrating, huh?
Hello everyone, this is Seskinator11, and this is my Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways, No Damage, OSP run, and this is Chapter 5. So this opening segment of Chapter 5 is definitely one of the most challenging segments in Separate Ways, and if you remember from the main campaign, which is Leon's campaign, this section was definitely a headache as well. Particularly with the machine gun wielding dude up at the top of the roof there. So what I do here is I grab the grenade in the tent, I equipped it, I throw it at this group of enemies in front of me, and make a break for it so the dynamite doesn't stun me. I grab the shotgun, that dude throws his dynamite, and I make my way into the house right here, where the machine gun dude can no longer fire at me because that flaming barrel has blocked his entrance. And now you have to face a gauntlet of enemies coming up, which I proceed to use my shotgun and shoot them into the corner of the room there in an effort to crowd control. So I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but right now, since I'm doing this run no shop, I really have no choice but to use my shotgun right now as I'm running low on ammo. But yeah, folks, as I mentioned in my previous video, I kind of hinted at the at this topic of instant gratification in games, and that's a direct reference to a tweet that the Godfather dictator had posted one day, and it was surrounding that. Like, why not practice for a few hours a certain segment in a game until you get better, and then eventually you just in general become a better player. You learn the skills. You further tailor your skills, you become just more familiar with the mechanics of the game in general. And so many gamers these days, they don't really think about that. They want that instant gratification. They want to be good at something immediately, without any practice, without any rehearsal, nothing like that. But so few games are like that, especially games that have a true challenge. And one of the biggest examples that I can think of right now is Super Meat Boy, which the platinum for Super Meat Boy, if you haven't checked on psnprofiles.com, that's one of the rarest platinums in all the games listed on there. It has like 0.25% rarity or something like that, ultra rarity, which is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, it took me an entire month, if not more, of rehearsal, of practicing every single day for a few hours just to get that platinum. And it's purely because of the no-death runs. You have to go through each of the worlds, I believe it's 20 levels, and you have to do it without dying once. And in that game, it is so easy to die. But yeah, folks, if I expected to go into that game knowing what the hell to do, and expecting to be the best immediately, that wouldn't have been realistic at all. And Super Meat Boy is a unique example, of course, because not many people will be drawn to it. A lot of people aren't very into the very specific platforming, which requires very little room for error. But still, it could be applied to all games. And if someone actually put in the time, the practice, the energy, they would do wonders with their skill level. They would become better. They would be, just in general, much happier as a person. And I get it, folks. Life happens sometimes. You can't put as much time as you would like into a game at times, and that's totally fine. Some things take precedence. Life takes precedence. A job, whether it's a school, whatever it may be. Now, let me direct your attention to here. So there's a transition there, folks, and the reason being for that is because I died so many times in this section. So the smoothest I could make that was to transition there instead of me running through the door and having a very rough cut in the footage. So that's the reason for that. And that dude with the dynamite takes a long time to throw it. He has to like pick his nose, make sure his pants are pulled up so his butt crack is not showing. He has to check his watch. He's got to do a lot of things before that dynamite is thrown, and then other takes would involve him throwing the dynamite immediately. So that really is just RNG for you folks with that first guy. Because if he throws it right away, you can position it so that way he can kill his friend and himself with that dynamite. But yeah, folks, all things considered, instant gratification in games, it's this thing that, you know, yes, if you want to be a casual gamer, if you just want to play games on normal difficulty, easy difficulty, and enjoy them just for the story, just for the experience, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't go in expecting to be the best. That's the thing. People believe they're the best when they can do those things and they can do them in their first attempt, or do them right away. But it's not always the case. It requires effort sometimes, you know, especially on higher difficulties, or on challenge runs, for instance. You just need to put in the time. And if people aren't willing to do that, then they're simply not going to become better. It's a rule of thumb. But yeah, anyway folks, this section is very challenging. Again, the checkpoint is way at the point where the door opens to you. And the dynamite dude is right there, and he throws it at you. And there's not even a checkpoint here either. So be very cautious in this section. It can be very frustrating. But yeah, you'll see me go for the ladder, so I can get a vantage point on these archers that are coming up. And I'm running very low on ammo, because again, in the chapters previous to this, I was just going balls to the wall, you know, shooting everything in my path, taking care of all the enemies, and it was not the right way to go, folks. I highly encourage not to do what I just did. But yeah, I shoot at this dude's anal orifice. He goes down. And now my next rule of thumb is to get that dude up there on the ledge. And with the realistic sway of the aiming reticle, it becomes very challenging. So be very it requires a lot of patience, folks. You know, again, it's not instant gratification. It requires patience. It requires trial and error. Which, if you apply that mindset to most games, you can go very far in them. You can do very impressive things and surpass challenges you wouldn't think to surpass. So again, it's all about the mindset, folks. Of course, if you don't want to be a person like that, if you don't have the time, then that's alright. Enjoy the games for what they are. Enjoy them casually. But if you're talking on a competitive or a, you know, even as an individual, if you want to individually compete with yourself and set better scores, set better challenge runs, it requires patience. It requires trial and error. It requires many attempts. But yeah, this dude is coming up here. I knock him down with a shotgun. There's one guy to the left up there on the ledge firing arrows, and it's very lucky that he did not fire at me. And now I don't know what the heck this guy's doing, but he's going over in the corner here, and he's running away from me, and I need to slash at him and get him down. Until finally I take him down to the ground. So there he goes. He's gone. Now all that's left is this dude up on the ledge, which I'm proceeding very cautiously here, because again, folks, this took me so many attempts to get through. But yeah, I knock him to his knees, knock him down. And I don't want to go up the ladder there, because the minigun dude is going to spawn in as soon as I touch that ladder. So what I want to do first is take care of the archer before I face the minigun dude. So you'll see me going back into cover and peeking out a little bit to make sure I'm very cautious here and very careful. But yeah, folks, a lot of patience needs to be utilized in this part right here. Otherwise, you won't prevail. But yeah, this took me so many tries, so many attempts. This was the worst part of the game, because again, still no checkpoint at all. The checkpoint is back when that door opened. And not the door into this room, into this arena. The door way back when, with the fire barrel building. So you have to be very cautious and patient. Alright, so now I position myself back here. The minigun guy comes out. I throw both my grenades at him. Wait to throw the grenades, otherwise the stun will be eaten by the animation. And you want him to be stunned. And look at how lucky that was. If he got a bullet on me, it would have been back to the beginning of the checkpoint for me. And it is a long checkpoint, folks. A very long checkpoint. So this is me running around. I'm grabbing some shotgun ammo. But this is not the end. We weren't successful. There is one more minigun boss that spawns in. And he spawns in as soon as we approach that other switch. There's also another Ganado up there somewhere. And I think what I'm doing is I'm just looking around. I'm getting my bearings. Trying to make sure that I know where I am and where I can run to. Getting a lay of the land. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kite that that minigun boss guy. But yeah, this music is pretty epic. I certainly love it. It's inappropriate. This is me getting the attention of the final Ganado that's up on that platform, because I don't want him to turn around and grab me as he did in one of my previous attempts. So yeah, he's down. I've got 5 bullets left in the shotgun. I've got 1 bullet left in the pistol. So I can at the very least stun the minigun guy if I need to. But I shouldn't have to. So this is me for whatever reason. I think I was trying to find a different ladder here. Actually, no, I forgot to pull the switch. That's what I did. I was going back to pull the switch. So there you go. Pull the switch for the door, because if I were to forget that switch and spawn the other minigun guy, my life would have been very miserable. I wouldn't have been able to kite him properly, because that's just what I was going to do here, is kite him in a way so that way his bullets wouldn't hit me and I'd be able to get to the next area. Again, this is all one checkpoint, guys. Back from the fire barrel building, as soon as that door opens, not the door to this arena, the door back then. Back there, okay? That's where the checkpoint was. It's ridiculous. So here I go. I'm waiting for him to come through that door. I hop on down. For now, I'm safe here. And then I dart over to the other end. And look here. Look here. Look at me freaking out. I thought I was trapped, and luckily I could jump over that platform there. Oh my gosh, was I freaking out. And at this point, I'm just trying to get the hell to safety, because look at the bullets. He was firing at that wall there. You couldn't see him though, luckily. But yeah, he was firing at that wall, tracking me the whole time. And now what I'm doing is I'm trying to kite him around so that way he can go to this corridor here. And so look at him firing. He's firing up at the floor there. And now I make my way. And there he is down there. I'm going for the switch. I hit it. Luckily he's not firing at me. Not yet, at least. And I move over here because I don't know where the hell he is now. I can't see him. But I hear him. And luckily, that was his grunt to jump down because I thought he was going to fire his minigun there. But he wasn't. He jumped down instead, and now we made it to the next segment, and we're safe. And there's the checkpoint. That was the longest segment of the game for me, and holy hell was it a long segment. That took me many attempts to complete. But we're finally here, folks. That was probably one of the hardest segments of the game. Once you get through that, the rest of these areas are not that bad at all, and I thought Sadler was going to destroy me. Especially with just a pistol and a shotgun. What the hell could I do with him? I thought Krauser too was going to destroy me as well, but I actually used the pistol on Krauser more so than I used the knife. but I would actually recommend using the knife because it does insane amounts of damage to him, which is pretty incredible. I mean, the knife in RE4 is probably the most OP weapon of the game at the end of the day if you know how to use it. But yeah, this is me walking forward. I'm watching out for any crossbow wielding enemies. I knock him over. And I'm taking care of the rocket launcher dude because I don't want him to fire a rocket at me while I'm running away. So he's down. Ada analyzes the helicopter wreckage because we know Leon is ahead of us right now. And I don't go down that corridor to my left because I believe it's a trap if you go in there and a small gauntlet of enemies comes and attacks you. So now take care of this crossbow wielding guy, knock him on his ass, and look at how close that was. That bolt almost got me just then. That was scary. So yeah, folks, I press on. Luckily there's some handgun bullets there, there's some shotgun shells there. We could reload and get our bearings. And then we'll be coming up on the cutscene with Leon, where Ada has to take her knife and stab him in the leg to prevent him from turning into a ganado, since he's still infected. But yeah, there's really not much left in this sequence. There's the Krauser fight coming up, and then there's the Sadler fight, and then finally the part where you have to throw the rocket launcher to Leon. And then you're done. And the Krauser fight isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I imagined it being much harder than it was. And it's purely because I thought his attacks were ridiculous, but it turns out he does pretty much the same thing as he did with Leon. And again, I used the pistol instead of using the knife, but I would recommend using the knife if you can, because then you'd have a lot more pistol ammo to deal with Sadler, which I will get to once we I will explain a bit more once we get to that section of the game. But right now, I'm just kind of scavenging around, looking for ammo. There's an archer at the far end of the hallway there, which I wasn't used to, so I actually got hit by him while I was trying to save at the desk. So if you keep a wide berth away from that doorway leading to the corridor, you should be fine. So I'm doing one more bit of selling to get some more money from the merchant. Just to clear up my inventory space there. I drop a save, and I believe this should be one of the very last saves before going to the end of the game, or at least the second to last save, typewriter. But yeah, I take a look at my map, I check what's in front of me. There is one more save point, and that'll be after the Krauser fight, but before the Sadler battle. So here's what I do. I knock the archer down. There he goes. And just run forward. Run forward like this. Watch out for the shield guys on the left. Jump right up, and you can go through the doorway, and you're safe. There's no two words about it. So grab the handgun ammo. You're going to need it for this fight if you choose to use the pistol like I did. And here we go. So Krauser will run towards you. He'll either do a quick time event or he'll do a stab with his wing. But look at that. I knocked him down, I shot him a few times in the head with the pistol, and he's already in phase 2. And this can be kind of nerve-wracking, because look at that. But use this middle portion, this geometry, to your advantage, because it can block his attacks and you don't even have to press dodge. But look at him, he's not even facing me, he's facing the other way, and he's going the long way around for whatever reason. It's kind of funny watching the AI trying to path around this bit of geometry in the back. But yeah, aim for his knee so it knocks him down with the pistol. And here I am, running out of ammo, which is no bueno. But there he goes. He tossed the grenade. If you're really good with Ada's knife, I would highly recommend using it, because then you don't have to worry about ammo in this fight. But yeah, that's me running away. That was a very lucky dodge right there. Here you can get a shotgun shell to the face, but this time I missed him. I wasn't quite high enough in my aim. But yeah, there we go. We got him. Right in the face. Dodge. Go for the reload. And that was very lucky there. I could feel the wind from his kicks. I dodged there just in case, because I had no idea if that would detect me or not. And there you go. That's Krauser. No damage. And that's with guns. I would highly recommend using knife instead. Using the knife. It's way better. I've seen other players use it who've done no damage with Ada on this, and it honestly looks a bit better. It's just, the knife tech is great in this game, and I highly recommend it. But yeah, I'm going into the Sadler battle with 10 pistol bullets, with I think 6 shotgun shells, and that's about it. You can pick up ammo in the arena in that boss fight too, so you don't quite have to worry about having low ammo. Alright, there's some more shotgun shells. That was very lucky. And this is me just organizing my inventory, Tetrising it around. And I take the TMP bullets, which are useless effectively. And we're going to sell our things to the good old merchant, because we're not buying anything on this run. We'll create some space, get some more monies, and move on. But yeah, even though I expressed a lot of frustration in the segment previous to this with the 2 minigunners, there was not a moment where I didn't enjoy playing this game. I loved it. Even though I was frustrated, I still loved it. And that's the mark of a good game. Especially a game you enjoy. When I was playing RE3 Remake, I never had feelings like that. I was miserable, I didn't want to continue, and I'm going to move away from this tangent and talk about this boss battle. So, Sadler is one of the freakiest bosses in this game, especially when he's in his human form. He is just a freaky man, and he will screw you over if you're not careful. So here's what I do. I pelt him in the face or chest with pistol bullets as fast as I can. Look at that. Boom, 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 into his face. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cause a cutscene that's going to cause him to charge the bullets that I fired at him and fire at me. But instead, I fire at his face while he's doing that, and that stuns him. And I run up and knife him right in the eye instead of using the QuickTime event. That is more efficient and much better than using the QuickTime event, believe it or not. It just does more damage, and Ada's knife is amazing. And that's Sadler. That took a few attempts. That was definitely not a first attempt. So, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like you can't do it. Just take a few practice runs, and you'll be able to do it. And this is the final sequence in the game, which actually isn't that bad at all. Especially since if you're very familiar with the enemies, you practice the placements, and where they'll be, you'll have no problem with this section. Like I said before, the beginning of Chapter 5 is probably the hardest segment in the game. Alright, here's this guy. Hit him in the face, the armored dude, and use the hook shot to get across to the building on the other side. This is where it gets a bit trickier because there's an archer behind me, but luckily he did not hit me, and luckily that guy with the axe didn't hit me either. So my next order of business is to throw a flash grenade on these guys so they won't be a problem for me anymore. And then I head on up the ladder here. We're coming across the home stretch. There's just one more armored dude in front of us that I'm going to take down with the shotgun. And then around the corner here are going to be two guys with rocket launchers that you can easily just shoot with one bullet down, like so. And then we get to the part where we do the final hook shot to get to the rocket launcher to throw to Leon. And that's the end. And I just wanted to say thank you all again for watching and sticking with this series. I hope it was very enjoyable for you all. And that is Separate Ways, No Damage, On-Site Procurement. You all, take care now.